Classification of alcohols. This is today's lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn definition of alcohol and then classification of alcohols. So, let us begin. Definition of alcohol. Let's see the matter. Let us consider this is a compound in which in the four hands of carbon there are four groups or atoms. In the four hands of carbon here, in one hand hydroxyl group, in this hand hydrogen, in this hand hydrogen, and in the other hand methyl group. So with this carbon only sigma bonds, no pi bonds. Considering this matter, this carbon is called saturated carbon. Let us consider another compound. Suppose this one, hydrogen, here double bond, CH2. This carbon with sigma bonds and pi bond, that is carbon-carbon double bond. Considering this matter, this carbon is called unsaturated carbon, as this carbon carries pi bond. That is why this carbon is a kind of unsaturated carbon. Again, let us consider this compound. This carbon as well, unsaturated carbon, because this carbon carries sigma bonds and two pi bonds. Now this carbon with no pi bonds is called saturated carbon. This carbon and this carbon with pi bonds. So these two carbons are called unsaturated carbons. Again, this compound. Phenol. Hydroxyl group is linked up with this carbon. This carbon with pi bond. So it's a kind of unsaturated carbon. Again, another compound, benzyl alcohol. This carbon is saturated carbon, but here hydroxyl group is in the side chain of aromatic compound. Now let's see what is the definition of alcohols. The organic compounds that carry at least one hydroxyl group and this hydroxyl group is bonded to saturated carbon, those compounds are called alcohols. Here in this case hydroxyl group is bonded to saturated carbon, so this is a kind of alcohol. In this case hydroxyl group is bonded to unsaturated carbon. In this case hydroxyl group is bonded to unsaturated carbon. So these compounds are not alcohols, though these compounds carry hydroxyl group. In this case phenol, hydroxyl group is bonded to unsaturated carbon, so this is not alcohol. In this case hydroxyl group is bonded to saturated carbon. That is, in this case, hydroxyl group is present in the side chain of aromatic hydrocarbon. So this is a kind of alcohol. Here, this is aliphatic alcohol. This is aromatic alcohol. Hydroxyl containing compounds of aliphatic hydrocarbons are called aliphatic alcohols, and hydroxyl group containing compounds of aromatic hydrocarbon are called aromatic alcohols. So here, this is a kind of aromatic alcohol and this is a kind of aliphatic alcohol. This is known as ethyl alcohol or ethanol. Et means ethyl group, and this is a kind of alcohol which is called benzyl alcohol. So alcohol is defined as when one or more hydrogen atoms are replaced by same number of hydroxyl groups in aliphatic hydrocarbon and in aromatic hydrocarbon, but hydroxyl group is bonded to saturated carbon. Then the compounds are called alcohols. Now let's see classification of alcohols. Classification of alcohols. Let's see the matter. Alcohols are classified into two groups first. First one is monohydric alcohols. And another group is polyhydric alcohols. Monohydric alcohols. Mono means one, but poly means more than one. Monohydric alcohols. Alcohols that contain one hydroxyl group. Let us consider this one: methanol, ethanol. Alcohols containing one hydroxyl group are called monohydric alcohols. These monohydric alcohols again are classified into three groups. One is 1 degree or primary alcohols. One degree or primary alcohols. For example, this one, CH3, CH2OH. This is a kind of 1 degree or primary alcohol because here carbon atom linked up with hydroxyl group is linked up with only one carbon atom. That is why this is a kind of 1 degree alcohol, which is also known as primary alcohol. Then 2 degree alcohol or secondary alcohol. Two-degree alcohol or secondary alcohol. For example, this one, CH3, here CH3H In this case, carbon atom which is linked up with hydroxyl group is linked up with two carbon atoms. That is why this is a kind of 2 degree alcohol, which is also known as secondary alcohol. Next one is 3-degree alcohol or tertiary alcohol. Three degree, this one. This is a kind of 3-degree alcohol because here carbon atom which is linked up with hydroxyl group is linked up with 3 carbon atoms, 1, 2, 3. That is why this is a kind of 3-degree alcohol which is also known as tertiary alcohol. Its name is tertiary butyl alcohol. Secondary alcohol example is CH3, CH3, OH. This is isopropyl alcohol. 1-degree alcohol, ethyl alcohol or ethanol. 2-degree alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. 3-degree alcohol, tertiary butyl alcohol. Classification of monohydric alcohols. Let's see now polyhydric alcohols. Polyhydric alcohols, alcohol with more than one hydroxyl group. It is classified as in this way. Suppose dihydric alcohol. For example, this one. This is a kind of polyhydric alcohol, especially dihydric alcohol. It has 2 hydroxyl groups. Its name is 1,2-dihydroxyethane. It has another name that is ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol. Another group is trihydric alcohol. Alcohol that contains 3 hydroxyl groups. For example, this one. 1, 2, 3. Trihydric alcohol. Its name is 1,2,3 trihydroxypropane. This is also known as glycerol. It's a kind of polyhydric alcohol. Another group is hexahydric alcohol. Hexahydric alcohol. Example is CH2, CH, 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 CH2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexahydric alcohol. That means alcohol that contains 6 hydroxyl groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Its name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hexahydroxyhexane. It has another name that is sorbitol. Sorbitol is a kind of polyhydric alcohol. Let's summarize classification of alcohols. Initially, alcohols are classified into 2 groups: monohydric alcohols and polyhydric alcohols. Monohydric alcohols, again, 3 types: 1-degree or primary alcohols, 2-degree or secondary alcohols, and lastly 3-degree or tertiary alcohols. Now, classification of polyhydric alcohols. Alcohols that contain more than one hydroxyl group. Considering this thing, it may be of three types: dihydric alcohols like ethylene glycol, trihydric alcohols like glycerol, and next one is hexahydric alcohol like sorbitol. This is all about classification of alcohols. No more today. Thank you very much.